is absolutely colossal. It is the first time on drone footage we will have 7 balers and 3 barons in one frame. I can never seem to get it to happen. I'm always late to the scene or whatever. We're straggling in, but today everyone is here. Everyone's ready to go. We're waiting on, that's a lie. We're waiting on one person. He should be here very shortly, and we're gonna hit it. We are here at the beautiful home of the Jordan family. We call it the Jordan Farm. We have 178 acres here. I don't think we're gonna get to it all today. We're starting at about 1 o'clock. That's, I mean, it's kind of normal, but we would have needed a very early start to get going. So we're here. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna make a lot of hay. These are big windrows. It's gorgeous. We got the whole lineup. We have 6 1840s. We have 1 Massey Ferguson 1842S, which I still need to make you guys a video. And we have 3 5250 Barons. Everything Massey as far as I can see. You ready, Wayne? Ready, Mike? Yeah. Mom, Gary, Bob, ready? I'm happy. Everyone's smiling. This is what it's all about. I'm on my phone here. I panicked because I didn't realize I needed to drive the baler for a little bit, but we are all lined up. Got the drone in the air. Kevin is having issues with the bearing, so of course, out of 10 pieces of equipment, one thing's not off to a great start, so it happens. This is awesome. Dry hay, looks good. I gotta get out and check bale weights, but sometimes you just have to do some stuff for the YouTube. So because I miscalculated for a second, I had to hop in the baler, so there was some of that cell phone footage. I haven't had a chance to actually get in and make sure the balers are doing what we want. It sucks, I'm probably already 1,500 bales behind, but they should have been set correctly from the last time, so I'll get behind, I will scale behind all of them, make sure I feel good. And we got Kevin's baler going that, you know, unfortunately lapsed in the awesome drone footage. It is what it is. If anything, that's more authentic of the way the day goes. Everything's not always running all the time. First up is Gary. We'll check his baler out and see how they're performing weight-wise. And we're back. Everyone's dialed in, making a nice tight bale. Balers look good. They are eating. The 1842S plugging along, eating hay. Pretty sizable windrow that my mom's in. Barons are locking down. Donnie's making himself a nice bundle. We'll go ahead and we'll probe the bundle that falls out. We'll get a better sense of moisture. There we go. There's some green stem in here that's concerning me just a little bit, but it sort of just looks more green than it's actually reading. 18, I don't know. So this video might end up going all over the place. I'm kind of scratching my head right now. We just had some really nice days, but I think we're gonna have to dry this stuff. I don't know how much I showed you in the camera because I kind of got flustered, but I'm probing 13 to 20%. Even with Silo King, I'm not a fan of putting that in a giant inventory batch in the barn. My weekend just got a lot longer. I guess this is why we have dryers. I just didn't plan on it. Okay, this was not what I had in mind, but let's make the best out of it and make a good video. So I hurried up, we loaded up 3 of the trailers. I took the last trailer, one of the blue load trails, with a hydraulic dovetail and put the telehandler on it. So now there's only 1 telehandler at the field instead of 2. So it's gonna be a little bit slower. But I hauled that up here. The semi-load and another gooseneck followed me. I'm gonna get the dryers running, get them unloaded. They can get back and then hay can just shuffle here. And we still don't have a roof or anything, so I'll just make a big wet pile, a big dry pile. We got 2 days without rain, just keep chipping along. We probably would stop baling if we didn't have more to do in the next 2 days. So that's kind of why we're pushing it, even though we could technically bale tomorrow. So we have separate fuel tanks or fuel storage for each independent dryer engine. I'm only half full in each of them because I just honestly didn't expect to dry, but that's okay. That's a good 9 hours of running. We got diesel in other spots too. So you have to keep at least 1 door open for some airflow. I think they prefer 2. So what you do is make sure it's on auto, pop it on run. It has a startup delay. Now it'll idle for 1:20, so open the doors in the other one, let that idle, walk back, turn that on, walk back over, turn this one on, then we'll start unloading the truck. Man, this door opens way too hard. Same thing here. You're not gonna be able to hear on the video, but this one cranked up out of an idle. Now it's hammering. watch the light. See the light? So the spears up here tend to settle down after a little bit. We'll come here, we got it in manual. You're probably not gonna be able to screen it all, but what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take the needles out, and that lets the whole machine function appropriately. And I'll do the same thing on this dryer. All with the power of a single finger, baby. Okay, this is only a thing because we don't have a roof over the dryer, so we have to empty the table. But in order for the cool down table to work appropriately, it has to be full. So I had Jake, I was preloading the chamber and he was just pushing them through in order to start this first round and actually have a full cool down table. I will now put it on automatic. See, I'll set my drying time 10 minutes. That's what we call a flash dry. Now I'm gonna start the cycle. See, now we have a full cool down table, so all the air is blocked, so it's forced up through the hay and not around it. Now you have the spikes going in, and we are drying. There we go. All right, I'll hopefully give you guys some more detail in a minute. I was not mentally prepared to dry today at all, so give me a second. I'm a little bit calmed down now. I did not wake up intending to dry today. I'm just a little bit confused. I've been doing hay for quite a bit of time now. I know I'm not that old, but I've got several years in the game by now, and me especially and everyone just thought this was gonna be dry. This is a little bit later season Timothy. It's got some green stems in them that are just still wet. I don't understand, but this stuff looks really nice, and you can go up and you can see some stems that are definitely still wet. I'm gonna show you some probes I took in the field. I'll put some pictures up on my phone now. But look at this. This stuff's probing 22, 23%. There's still above 20 all the way out. I'm not too happy about, oh, I did that wrong. I was on the check. Hang on. Still above 20. I was pressing the wrong button. 19, I don't love that. 16, 17, not a huge fan of that. We're doing a flash dry. I'm drying it for 10 minutes at a time. It's about 180 degrees of hot air blowing down through those spikes, and then you have ambient air blowing through it on the cool down table. And so you have 10, 20, 30, 40, about 50 minutes of forced air through it at this point. 10 minutes of super hot air, 40 minutes of cool air that's blowing the rest of the moisture and the hot air out of it. And that should be enough to make it barn storage ready. The bundles that have been dry, marked right there, let's see what they probe. I'm guessing about nothing. 12, and they're not even done on the cool down table. 13, 12, 9. Uh-oh, they're about to hit each other. I better hurry up. This is not easy one-handed. So the thing about these dryers is fairly effective management, especially on days like today where I don't think we're gonna have to dry every bale that we make. This is the first stuff that we baled. I still don't know what happened. I don't know if we jumped the gun raking it with some dew, but that's not dew moisture, it's stem moisture, so I'm just not sure what's going on. Mower speeds, thickness, density, who cares? We just have to deal with it now that it's here. My dad has a moisture meter at the field. He's updating me about every 40 minutes. He's getting out and probing bales. The balers have moved into a spot where he's only probing 11 to 13%, and we are a-okay with that. That is very much fine, especially with Silo King on it. I think that if the drone video is obvious to you guys, well, actually, I know what's obvious. Very first lineup picture where we're all going down one row, all of us except the one bearer that fell behind. That field was the one that was probing high, so we're just gonna have to dry that. I don't know how many acres that is over there, but if it's 3,000 bales or something, I'll just flash dry 3,000 bales and we'll send the rest of the stuff home. And we're not gonna finish that farm in one day. We'll probably finish it tomorrow, which is Saturday, so I assume tomorrow it'll be all completely dry. This stuff, I can't believe the color, I mean, I don't know how well it'll show up on the camera, but this is pretty late first cutting, and it's really nice. Really happy with the quality. Nice Timothy head, some good leaf on the alfalfa. This is a Timothy alfalfa mix. Florida in particular loves this mix. I don't know why, it's just a regional thing, but they're gonna be happy that there's some additional non-spoiled bales out there in circulation.
One eternity later.
But it's getting a little bit late to see. We're shutting down for the night. This is the last bundle through. I'll follow up with this video in the morning. We made some huge stacks. We've dried a lot of hay, and there's still a lot of wet hay to be dried.
Tomorrow.
Oh, YouTube, I'm not exactly sure where I left off last night, so let's just start off strong this morning. This batch over here is wet hay coming in from the field. It is unfortunately testing from like 14 to 21%, so we are flash drying it for 10 minutes. Over there, way behind me, is all the dried hay I got through last night, and Justin got through a little bit this morning. So now what we're gonna do today is we're gonna run 2 trailers from the field to the dryer, keep drying. We're gonna run 2 trailers from here to home to get them under roof, because this magnificent building is not a building yet. There is no roof. So that's gonna be a lot on the dryer guy, which is probably gonna be me today or Rob. I'm not exactly sure, but they'll be unloading wet hay, stacking it, keeping the dryers running, and loading dry hay on trailers. So it's gonna be a cluster for a bit, but that's why we got dryers. It wouldn't be a cluster if we had a roof, but we just don't have a roof yet. So here we are, improvising. Right now, Rob's doing a good job, so I can film a little bit. Justin is adding some stone to our entryways up to the concrete, because after hundreds of times in and out, you start to wear a bit of a track there, and it's a little bit rough on the bundles coming in and out. Got the staging table, the actual probes where it's drying. Right now the ambient air is 170 degrees. We're flash drying them for 10 minutes. There's 6.5 minutes left remaining. And they're going in at, like I said, 18 to 24. They are probing out to the end of the table consistently 10 to 14%. We're super happy. It is good quality, so it's worth doing this. This right here is a cool down table. So it's blowing ambient air up through these bundles for 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. So you have, at this rate, 10 minutes of hot air being forced through it, 40 minutes of ambient air, which also leaches some moisture, but it just cools it down so it makes it ready for storage. I'll throw the drone up in the air, show a little action of Rob unloading and loading the dryers, and that's gonna be about what we're doing today. I'll check back in a little bit, see how it's performing. At this rate, with 10-minute batches through both dryers, we're doing about 735 bales an hour, just a pinch under because there's that cycle time, so I don't know, we'll call it 715 bales an hour. We baled, I don't even want to talk about it. We baled a lot with the stem moisture yesterday, but we really needed to push. We have 160 acres of second cutting behind me that's ready to go, that needs to go Sunday. Got to get everything transferred over here, so we just baled it and dried it, man. So we're gonna dry 23,100 bales in 30 hours. I think we can do it. Day today, Justin and I have made a few rounds back to the home farm with dry loads of hay. The stack is not really going down that fast because he's drying about 740 bales an hour. The wet hay stack is creeping down a pinch, I suppose. Carl is raking some outside rounds of some second cutting. That is going to be a video where we're going to specialize on the dryers, so stay tuned. That's tomorrow. But right now, Rob's doing a great job. He's keeping both of them running. We backed up to the concrete so he doesn't have to leave the concrete, because the bundles after they're drying, they are a little bit looser. They're not too bad. They're a little bit looser. You don't really want to go bouncing around any ruts or anything out here. So stays in the concrete, keeps them nice and tight. As you can see, there's a pinch of snag. It's really not bad. But okay, we are going on about 24 hours now. Some of this has been baled, so let's see what we're probing pre-dry versus post-dry. 20.9, 19, 15, 16. Now over to the stuff fresh off the dryer, fresh off the cool-down table. 12.7, 9, 9.8, low. Not even registered, low. Not even registering off the cool-down table. Pretty cool. Got the semi lined up with wet hay. I'm sitting here ready for dry hay. We're backing Robbie up. What's it probing? About 12. 12, nothing, yep.